Focus. Focus, people. You gotta focus in life. You gotta have a focus. Can you please stay focused? Because it's important that you stay focused. Focus is a topic that a lot has been written on. A lot has been written about the focus and how to focus, what is distracting us. And I've been reading a book recently that I recommend. It talks about focus is by Daniel Goleman. He really distills it down to where we have issues with the focus today. And what one of the interesting things when he talked about focus is that we have like a very short time span that we can be focused on something, which is really interesting. And we're getting worse and worse in that domain of our life because we're constantly distracted by social media, by the beeps, by the calls, by people around us, by our thoughts and everything. So it's really hard today to keep focus. So this is one of the topics that a lot has been written and talked about, and it's important that we discuss it here as well, because I've been thinking about it in this week. I've just almost finished the book on the topic of focus, so I thought I will share my ideas on that and what I view is important in that matter. So focus is something that I've already mentioned, and a lot of people are talking about that we're losing from generation to generation because we're so distracted by our environment, by our, the social media, the marketing, the technology and everything, that we really have a hard time focusing on something for an extended period of time. But there are different kinds of focus, and there are different environments when we need that ability to be able to focus. One is on just daily basic activities that we do, and that we don't get distracted when we're doing something. But the other one is a little bit more connected to our purpose of our life, to our goals, to where we want to be, what we want to achieve in life. And there are two different things that I would like to address today when it comes to focus. One thing is that we have a big issue by staying present and doing something consistently, and to do something that we're really immersed in that, and that we get into that flow state when we're doing something. That is something that I believe is very valuable and very important in our life to learn, so that we are able to focus, to zoom in on something, to one activity, and that we do it. For this, a very good advice that I've noticed recently, I think it was shared by Brendan Bashad, is that we chop in 5 minutes of strict focus on something that we're doing. So if we put all the distractions away from us, and we just take 5 minutes and we 100% focus on one thing that we're doing, we are going to be amazed of how many things we will be able to achieve and how many tasks we'll be able to complete just by doing this small thing. So this is something that helps me as well. If I do a small chunks of time dedicated to something that I'm going to focus 110%, as we say, on, there's a lot better outcome. So this is one thing, that if we focus short periods of time, we train our brain. That's first thing that's good for us. And the second one is that we are actually doing something thoroughly, which I've spoken about in one of the previous videos, that I talked about how to be thorough and how to time manage and things like that. So this is one area that I believe is very important when we talk about focus. And the second one is that I've been dealing with recently is that's connected to our life's purpose, to our goals, to where we want to be, what we want to achieve. Because if we are not focused on the future, on something that we would like to have or present or share with the world, then we have a little bit of a problem. We are lost and we're not focused, and it's hard to start with small things, let alone the big things that we might be able to achieve in our life. So the second thing is that I've been thinking about deeply recently, and I've been encouraged to to really pay more attention to what my focus in life is. Because today we are doing so many things. We do 1, 2, 3 businesses. We do, I don't know, from daily things that we need to do at our jobs or our work, and then we do YouTube channels on the side, we do our hobbies on the side, we associate with people on the side, and we do all kinds of things on the side. And it's very easy for us to lose the focus of our life of our purpose. And this is something that I think is also very important, that we nourish all the time, our focus on our big goal, our big ambition, our big contribution that we want to have in life. And one of the things that really struck me as I was inquiring in this last week about the focus, what kind of focus I have, what do I focus on, and what do I want to focus on, because I'm doing quite a, I'm running 3 different businesses, so it's a little bit hectic, but the bottom line is pretty much the same. So I got reconnected with something that really ignited my passion, that really started fueling me when I started, doing serious personal development and contribution and organizing this, the community in the institute and in the other company that I'm running. And I figured out what was the ignition for that to drive my focus, was that I was really focusing on my personal growth, of me becoming the best version of myself. And throughout the couple of last years, I've noticed just recently, I was encouraged by a coach to think about it, and I really noticed that I started focusing more on the results and on how we're gonna manage everything, how we're gonna deal with situations that we have, the money, the people, the making everybody happy, getting the content out, and so on and so forth. So I figured that as soon as we start focusing on external things, or the organization of other people and managing other people and focusing on just um, dealing with other things that are outside of us, we lose the proper focus. And this was something that really struck home with me just recently, because I've noticed I started focusing so much on the outer world and the things that are outside, instead of who I am, who I want to be, and who do I need to become to be able to lead well, to lead an amazing life myself, and to actually be doing things focused, that comes from my inspiration and from within me, not from the outside. So this was something that I've been encouraged recently, and I would like to share it with you, to encourage you to think about it very deeply. Why are you doing things? This is one of the most important questions you can ask in your life. Why? There's a great book by Simon Sinek that I've just finished recently for the second or the third time. It's called Start With Why. Most of you probably have heard of it. And he also, he emphasizes this, why we're doing something, because we're usually always more inclined to emotions and to bigger contribution, and it needs to come from a strong foundation as we are as human beings. And this is something that I would really like to encourage all of you to think about deeply. What is your focus? What is your time going? What are you spending time on? Are you focusing on growing yourself as a person and then going out and contributing, or are you focusing on things that are outside and trying to calm everybody down and get the content out, or do that 8 hours that you need to do in the work, and so on and so forth? So yes, it's been a very interesting week. Talked a lot about why I'm doing things, and what's my focus and what my passions is. And this is something I'd like to leave you with. Really think for yourself, what are you focusing on, and do a little bit of a, what do we call it, a resume. What is your focus, or what has your focus been recently? Because this is going to help you so much in taking the right steps in the future. So if I summarize a little bit, that is this time management focus that we need to really work on. We take a small chunk of time. This is a really good advice that I've been following, and it really works. And focus on one thing at a time. And the other one is focus of your life. And I believe strongly that our focus of our life should be us competing with ourselves, becoming as good as we can, and focusing on growing as a person, because only from that place you can really contribute, you can really push forward all the ideas, you can really inspire and move people to do things. So yeah, this has been this week's rock and roll in my head, and thoughts and reads and all this kind of stuff. So I invite you to subscribe, to keep on following me, to share your thoughts, to share your ideas. I'd really like to associate with like-minded people and grow together, because I believe life is so amazing. It's one of a trillion opportunity that we have as human beings, and I think we should really really find the balance in our life and really contribute something. And focus is one of the things that is going to help us achieve that and really be an inspiration and contribution and all the good things that we want to have and do in life. So this is it for this week. I'll see you around. Be good, stay focused, and rock and roll.